I'm holding in my hand Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Tag Force 5, a game that's long overdue for a review. I wasn't even planning on reviewing it because it wasn't probably not a huge it's probably not a super popular game, but well, there's a reason I chose to. So I'm gonna give it a full review. I'm not just gonna talk about the reasons why. So let's pop it in the PSP, turn it on, and I think I have to turn the volume on too. I think I muted it. There we go. Turn the volume up too. And it boots up. PlayStation Portable. I don't plan on getting the PlayStation Vita. It's just for the price of it. I mean, what do I really want it for? I'm probably not going to ever really play the games. And they also announced Yu-Gi-Oh! 5D's Tag Force 6. However, right now it looks like it could possibly be a Japan exclusive, and if it is, I will probably import it. So it loads with which of the black I'm sorry, what's it called? I can't think of which of the Black Rose. That's what it is. And very occasionally, very rarely, I heard that it also will show Kuriban. So you load it up. You have an interface very similar to the old Tag Force games. The only difference is this one has UMD data installation, which reduces loading time drastically. So we'll start with story mode by loading it up. It does take a little while to load. It's just like the old Tag Force games where you have a character that you can't customize, which it's sort of okay with me. And you move around and oh, you can see the computer thing here. You move around in this overworld with, you still have the shortcuts with the map. And each character, you know, you have 4 hearts that you have, you have 4 hearts you have to fill up, and there's different events. And with each main character that you beat story mode with, you get a card that you can only get by completing story mode with them, and you get 3 copies of it. So right now I'm working on completing story mode with Carmine. I've already beat it with quite a few characters, and it's different for each character. And let's talk about the events. Well, while I can't show you an event because it'd take me a while to get to it, they do, I think they actually do mirror things that happen on the show, which I don't watch. And, sorry. I'm just gonna save right here because I got cards. They do mirror the show, I think. I know part of it. And overall, they're really nice. But there's little interaction because you have to go to one place. Then you have to... It's usually a tag duel, but sometimes it's a single duel with some people. And there's a lot of talking and dialogue. So overall, it's pretty good, I guess. But it's been this way since the original Tag Force game, so I'm not going to complain. Now, you have in the menu, deck menu, it's the same as it was before. You can view and edit decks and partners' decks, and you can also download them off the website, and each time you beat story mode with the character, you can see their deck recipes, which, something nice about them is their last recipe, it used to be full of forbidden cards, so it would be pointless because you'd never be able to use it because you can't have that many forbidden cards in your deck. And lots of times where I saw 3 copies of limited and semi-limited cards. But this time, they haven't done that as much. I mean, it doesn't follow the rest of their recipes or the card style they use as much. But, I mean, there's still some. I saw one. But usually, they don't have a whole crap load of forbidden cards. And usually, when you see that, it's 3 copies of each. So, you know. Hold on, let me move this bag. Yeah. Items. The same as the old, the last Tag Force game. You have items that can, fill up characters' hearts and put them in a better mood. Status. Same thing. Database. Same thing as the previous Tag Force game. Which, if you've never played these games before, I know it's the first time I'm reviewing it. There's nothing special. Well, the only thing different in options, you can enable install data, and the only point to doing that is if you take out the memory stick for whatever reason, or if you put the PSP in sleep mode, then when you turn it back on, it'll disable it for whatever reason, and you have to re-enable it. Oh yeah. You can end the game, which means go back to the home screen, advance game time, and save. Now, the nice thing that they added in this game is you can, instead of having to end the day, you can advance the game to, any part of the day that hasn't happened yet. Which is nice because some characters only appear during certain parts of the day. Like, I think Primo only appears at night. So, very nice improvement. Okay, let's go back to the main menu. Alright. Now, let's talk about card selection. Well, actually, no, I'll talk about that after this. So first I want to show you what an actual duel looks like in this game. They did change the background from Tag Force 4. Instead of having what looked like in space and a bunch of stars flying past you really fast. Well, that's what it looked like to me. It's something different. And it's not as cool, but I can deal with that. Whoa, what the heck? Oh yeah, you can select music too. In this game you can select music. If you do free duel. And if you do free duel, you can select your opponent. I don't care, I'm just going to choose that opponent. Which deck they use. How many life points you start with. How much time you have for each turn. And if it's a match or just a single round. Alright, so apparently I'm going second. I'm not going to do too much. Now, if you haven't known, this Tag Force has animations for the opponent character. It'd be cool to see it for your character too, but it'd probably take too long. And certain cards have their own summon and attack, what's it called? Animations. So, just like Tag Force 4, at least I think this happened in Tag Force 4, you can displays the level of all monsters, and if it's a tuner, it's in yellow, and if it's a dark tuner, it's in purplish. Alright. So, let's go back to the main menu. Alright, now, card selection. Well, first, let's go back to an old game, if you recall, Yu-Gi-Oh! 2006, the World Championship game for 2006. It was called Ultimate Masters. That game had pretty much every single card that ever existed up to that point, including all those normal monsters that we only saw in Japan, and it's probably a good thing they never came to America. They weren't very useful anyway. I think a few of them were fusion monster materials, but weak monsters. Stuff that wouldn't, for cards that aren't reliable in a tournament. So, this game is just like that. It has pretty much every card that came up to this point, and one of my favorite things about the Tag Force series, the game original cards, or basically anime exclusive cards. Here, I'll actually show you. This is what makes the series really good. They don't always have the same effect they had in the show, but it's usually reasonable. Now, here's something weird. For the one card, Moon Dragon, I think it's pronounced Kia. I don't know, it's weird, because I know Kia was the Inca goddess of the moon, and they spoke Incas, the Incas spoke Quechua, and a lot of it followed Spanish spelling, because Spanish conquered them, and historians from Spain and whatnot. So Moondragon Kia, Kila, whatever it is, Moondragon Kila actually has there's two cards of it in this game. And I'm just using that one as an example because it's the one I actually have. Hold on. Does this thing focus? Sort of. Whoa. Sorry. See, not only is there a synchro version, there's a dark synchro version as well, which has the actual effect that it had, I think, or something close to that on the show. And this one has the, released the version that's released, that one's effect. Sorry, that came out really weird. Now, game originals, that's another thing. And they also have all the illegal cards, you know, the match winners, as I call them. So, let's see here. Game original. So, what's that called? Absurd Stealer, Advanced Dark, Ultimate Kettle, Chaos Distill, Altar of the Mountain Deity, and stuff like that. One of my favorites is Dark Renewal, but in this game it's called Black Magic Revival Casket. I also like Berserker's Soul and the Philosopher's Stone Saboteur and Illusion Gate. I remember in Tag Force 3 that was one of my favorite cards to use. And all the Dark Synchro monsters. Here's two. Dark Diviner and Dark Flat Top. Yeah. Although I don't think Gregor is in this game because there's some turbo duels in this game, unfortunately. I'd like them to add that, but I think it would kind of be hard to do. So, these are just some examples. There's a lot of them from the GX series, too. I know, another example I remember, there's Giant Ushioni, and, Crystal Skull, and Cabrera Stone, and Ashoka Pillar, and Triangle, all that good stuff. And, of course, there's the 3 Egyptian god cards with their own mutilated legal effects. There's the database where you can actually go to the website and download cards. A lot of them are extras. Music player, gallery and stuff. Now, like I said, each card has its own, well, not each card, but some cards have their own animations when you summon them and when they attack. They're pretty cool to see. Wait a minute. Yeah, let's see which one shall I show you. But anyway, they did this in the original Tag Force game too. The only difference is that in this game, they ditched all the old ones except for, which ones? I'm sorry, I'm trying to think. Blue Eyes White Dragon and Light and Darkness Dragon. Those are the only ones they kept. And I remember in Tag Force 3, that was the only game with the Elemental Hero Blade Edge animation. Here, I'll show you Shooting Star Dragon. Here's what it looks like when you summon it. Looks a lot cooler in person. The camera's not the best. Whoa, it can't even focus. Okay. Here. Alright, so now, the main reason I talked about this game. The glitches. Oh my god. Well, here's a minor one. The Molten Destruction thing that when you use it, it looks like something's wrong in the background. That's still there, but that's a minor thing. There's 2 major things. One, if you fill a character's heart and you're if there's a day when you're doing their event, you know, with the exclamation point marking the place you have to go to. If you duel with anybody else, that heart completely goes away for whatever reason, and you have to well, the Yu-Gi-Oh! Wiki website says that you have to start the game over, and it will never let you complete the story no matter what, because it won't refill it. However, what you can do is just do a tag duel with them, and that usually fixes it, and you can refill the heart. That's a major thing, though. Another major thing, because it could cause you to start over. If you haven't beaten Yusei Fudo, the normal version, if you haven't beaten his story yet, if you haven't beaten his story, and you, change him to the Poncho version, where he has this poncho for whatever reason, apparently he doesn't appear, he never will, and you can't complete either story, and you have to start over. I actually don't know if that one's true, but just be careful, because I'm pretty sure it is, and that's also major. It could cause you to start over. Overall, I think it's a very good game. all the cards make it really worthwhile, and there's a lot more characters that main characters than there were in Tag Force 4. And also, I forgot to mention on the website, you can also download deck recipes and Forbidden Limited card lists. But, like I said, very good game, worthwhile, lots of unique characters that have unique story modes that were actually in the show, apparently. So, with the glitches in mind, the ones that could mess you up severely, and there's other ones too that are minor, with those in mind, overall, I give it 7.5 out of 10.